Hey guys, welcome back to Midnight Violets. Today I'm going to do something that I've been putting off for a while. It's a video that I want to do for myself so that I kind of have things remembered, if that makes sense. But it's also something that quite a few of you guys have asked me about. So I guess it's about time that I filmed this. So I'm going to start off by saying that it didn't really go to plan, and I think you probably know if you've watched my pregnancy updates that I was very open-minded about it, that I knew that I wouldn't I was pretty certain that not everything would go to plan and that there would be a few things that kind of hiccups along the way kind of thing. But nothing kind of happened how I wanted it. And I know it's like, I wanted it this way, blah, 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 blah. But it just, I don't want to use the word traumatizing or traumatic because it sounds really extreme, but I don't really know how else to describe it, if that makes sense. Sorry, this is a really hard video to film. So twice I had been taken into hospital with suspected preterm labour. Both times they managed to stop it. So once at 31 weeks and the second time I think I was 34 weeks, 35 weeks, and both times I was in hospital for about a week, which was fantastic. So yeah, they managed to stop it both times, which was good at the time, but then it got to the point where I didn't go into labour again, or preterm labour again, sorry, pre-labour, that's what I mean. So I actually ended up having to go in to be induced, which I find quite ironic. So they said to call them at 8:30 in the morning, and they tell me a time to go in that day. So I called at 8:30 in the morning and they said, we've got no beds free, so you can't come in, give us a call later. Actually no, I think they said they'd call me back later. By about 2 o'clock in the afternoon I hadn't heard anything, so I called them again and said, you know, I'm due to come in to be induced today, what's going on? And they said, oh okay, we should have a bed by 4 o'clock, so if you want to get ready, come in for 4. So I was like, yes, fantastic, I've got a time, I've got a date. I was absolutely gigantomongous by this point. I was so done with being pregnant, so I just wanted like a time and a date and whatever, just to be like, yes, it's gonna happen. So I was really excited I had my time. And then they called me back at 3 and said, actually no, we've had to give you a bed to someone else, which I completely understand. Like, I do get that there's obviously people more important than me at that time, which is completely fair enough. But in your head it's just a bit like frustrating. And they said come back at 6. So I called them at 5:30 just to make sure I could go in, and they said yep, you know, get your stuff together, come in for 6. So I went in for 6. I then sat there until 8, I think, until I was actually seen by anyone, at which point they said that I was already 3 centimeters dilated and that they wouldn't use like the drugs or anything to induce me. They just wanted to break my waters, which again, fantastic, kind of like my body had done a lot of the work itself. So again, they said we can't do this on the ward you're on, you have to be moved into the delivery suite, you can only do it there, which is, yeah, policy, whatever, got to be in the right place, is what's for the best. So I was like, yeah, fine, whatever, and they said it should be about a half an hour to an hour, so I was like, okay, that's fine. My husband stayed with me. Ended up that we didn't actually get moved till 5 in the morning. I was on like a really busy, noisy ward, so I didn't get any sleep at all, like no sleep whatsoever. And then so they moved me down at about 5 o'clock, and yeah, they broke my waters, which, yeah, anyone that's had that done to them, it's a bit of a weird feeling. Because of it being twins, like a doctor had to like check everything along the way and like kind of okay everything. So the midwife, she was absolutely lovely, she was really nice, but she didn't really have any decision making control. She couldn't really do anything that she normally would be able to make a decision about, if you know what I mean. She had to kind of get everything okayed. So that kind of made everything last a bit longer. So at this point when my waters were broken, I think I woke up at 5:30 the day before just because of pregnancy, tiredness, excitement, nervousness, whatever, you know, being induced. So I'd been up since 5:30 the day before. So at this point I'd been up, you know, getting on 24 hours. So needless to say, I was rather tired. And I also hadn't eaten anything either since I'd been in the hospital. So I was also kind of hungry. But at this point I was kind of things were starting to get going, so eating wasn't really something that I wanted to do. I had some of these not energy drinks, but like isotonic drinks, which were kind of keeping me going a little bit. So anyway, they broke my waters and things actually got going pretty quickly, and actually started getting quite painful. So I was quite excited. You'll have to forgive me, I don't really know the timings of when this happened, when that happened, why, kind of thing, because as I said, I was absolutely exhausted. I wasn't really kind of that with it, so I don't really remember a lot of what happened. I think a lot of the things that I know have come from my husband and my mum, who were both there with me, who have kind of, initially I was told quite a lot, and then like as time goes on, like the odd kind of thing comes out as well, not because they're hiding it from me, but because they don't realise that I don't know, or that they've not said, or yeah. So a lot of things I don't really remember. I didn't properly start contracting, I don't think, for a couple of hours after having my waters broken, so about 7 or 8 in the morning, and from that point I think things started getting going pretty quickly. I didn't take any painkillers at first, and then I had, was it, I can't remember what it is, but it's like a pill, and I know that it doesn't work for me because I was prescribed it when I was pregnant for my pelvic pain, and it literally did nothing. So I kind of said to them like, it's not going to do anything, but they kind of just said, you know, just take it, you never know, and as suspected, it did nothing. So at that point, I think maybe like 9, 10, 11 something like that, I had gas and air, which I actually found worked really well, but I remember telling the midwife I felt like I was drunk in an alley because it made me feel so like not with it. And yeah, this is where it gets really, really hazy. All that I know is that I started complaining that why am I just having contraction after contraction after contraction, like there's no break in between them. And that's when my mum, I think, turned around and said, it's because you're falling asleep in between them, so you are getting a break, you're just not realising it, and you're just being woken up every time you get a contraction. So it kind of, I was getting a bit of sleep, but it was for like 3-4 minutes or whatever the space in between my contractions was, and then when I was awake I was having a contraction. So how long my hair's going, by the way. And then they examined me again, no idea what time, and they said that I was 8 centimeters, I think, and they wanted me to have an epidural. And initially I'd kind of put it off and said, no, I don't want one, I'm not having one. And to be honest with you, I think I was dealing okay with the pain when I was having my contractions to the point I was at, but because of it being twins and the things that they said they were going to have to do with twin number 2, or potentially have to do with twin number 2, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna have it, just do it. I don't want to feel that. They were saying they would have to like stick hands up and pull babies down and like grab my stomach really, really tightly, and yeah, I was just like, you know what, just whatever, do it. I think I'm probably not alone in saying that kind of thing, and actually I'm quite happy that I did, as you'll find out in the rest of the story. So I had that put in, and I just remember having to try and sit still for, I think it's like 20 minutes, and just repeatedly saying, I'm really sorry to the anaesthetist, because I thought I was being a pain in the ass and like moving around, but I think actually I was really well behaved for her, but I just spent the whole time saying, I'm really sorry. So I had that one put in, and yeah, by the time it was in, I think I was like 9 centimeters or something. So I think I had like half an hour's sleep, maybe. I'm not sure. All I know is it was just enough time for my husband to eat a sandwich. So then that happened, and then I got examined again, and they said, okay, you are ready to push, these babies are going to come, but you can't do it yet because we need this person and whatever in the room. Or was it that, or was it the doctor had to okay it? I can't remember. There was a reason why anyway. So I had to wait for like some amount of time. I know this story is so bad because I literally was not in this world, and I don't think it was drug induced. I think it was literally just sheer tiredness and pain and exhaustion. It kind of felt weird because I had the epidural. I didn't really have much sensation of the pressure or what I was doing, but I could sort of feel myself pushing. Yeah, it was really strange. and I kind of wish I could have felt it so that I knew what I was doing. And I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I just wish that I could have actually had some kind of feeling with it. So anyway, when I started pushing, the baby's head was really, really low down, or so they told me, and they'd been telling me all along, which I was like, oh, that's good, because surely that means less pushing if it's already really low down. How naive I was. So anyway, I was pushing for an hour and a half, again on this barely any sleep, exhaustion, delirious kind of state, and I wasn't really getting anywhere. So they called the doctor in and they examined me, and they kind of checked how I was pushing, and she was like, oh, you're pushing really well, you're pushing in the right place, they're nice and strong. And I hope she wasn't just saying that, although I feel she probably would be quite honest and would have told me to encourage me and make it better if I wasn't. So she said that, and then she said, but your baby has moved and the head is not in a good position anymore. And I was just like, and they said, we're going to have to take you round to theatre and try a forceps delivery. And I was like, no, I don't want forceps. I'm not going to go into it, but there's reasons, and no, I don't want forceps. And they said, okay, well, we'll just try, and then if it doesn't work, we'll just give you a cesarean. I was like, but I don't want forceps. Anyway, so they took me round to theatre, and I think they tried forceps, but they didn't actually get as far as using forceps. They kind of just worked out whether it would work, and it wasn't gonna work. So I was quite happy seeing as I'd said I didn't want it. So yeah, I had to have a cesarean, which at the time I didn't actually realise. It was an emergency cesarean, and I'd been like bumped up the queue or something. My mum told me afterwards that she was quite scared because of the things they were saying. As soon as they'd got the babies out and like clean them up, I got to hold one of them for I don't know how long, briefly, and then like put them back. And then I don't know whether I just passed out or fell asleep. I know that my I know that my blood pressure was really, really low at this point, but I don't really remember whether I passed out or fell asleep. Maybe a mix of both. And I just don't remember the rest of it. I don't remember being stitched up. I don't remember being wheeled out. Apparently there's pictures of me, my husband, like holding the babies and stuff. I don't remember that. I don't remember coming back into my room. I don't remember my husband telling my mum the baby's names or their weights or anything. I don't remember any of it. And I really, really wish I had some kind of recollection of it. Like, luckily my husband has taken pictures of this, so I have got pictures to remember it. I don't even remember holding the babies for the first time, which is horrible, but there is a picture of it, so I know that it happened. There's like the hospital bed, and then my mum and my husband had wedged pillows either side of me so that my arms were like propped up like this, and I had a baby on either side. So there's pictures of it. I just do not remember it at all, and I just wish that I'd had some sleep, because I didn't mention it, but my emergency cesarean, I don't know what time it started, but the babies were born at about 4:30. So basically had like 36 hours of pre-labour, labour, and no sleep and no food or anything, on top of months and months of basically no sleep as well. Yeah, so I just wish that I could remember things, but I can't really change anything now, and I have 2 beautiful babies who, luckily, thanks to what happened, are nice and happy and safe in this world. So I think I just need to accept it. But it's not the easiest thing, as I'm sure probably any of you that have had a similar situation will probably agree. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think I'm going to go into any detail about anything else kind of beyond that point. For now, anyway. I know from reading the comments and talking to you guys in the comments that quite a few of you are pregnant with twins, or have got twins, or are just pregnant with one baby. So if you've not already had them yet, all the best for all of you with your births, and I hope that you can remember it and get some nice pictures out of it and some nice memories, and that, yeah, it just not necessarily goes the way that you want it to, but that your babies arrive safely and that you're happy. And I don't think I've got anything else to say. So on that note, I need to go and feed my babies, which I didn't mention were both born at £5.6. Basically like 20 grams different in their weight. The midwife that came around was actually saying that they are the closest weight twins that she's ever seen. So My little munchkins are basically the same size. Anyway, I need to go feed them now, so don't forget to subscribe down below if you like the video. I will try and get some kind of baby related things up on this channel and not just completely forget about it now that they're born. I have a couple of videos in my head that I want to do, but if there's anything that you want to see, then let me know. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe down below, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye guys.